Welcome, everybody. My name is Mike Chavez, and I am the host for Local Business Support Podcast. And also, I'm the admin and creator for the Local Business Support for Phoenix, Arizona, and its surrounding cities, which is completely dedicated to helping local businesses, helping out other local businesses here. And the YouTube channel has been kind of created recently because that can really be helpful and beneficial to anybody that's either an entrepreneur or wants to be a business owner. They really can walk away when watching these interviews somehow motivated or inspired because they really kind of open their doors and really kind of help us see their mindset and their dedication to their business. So I've really walked away from each interview that I've done inspired myself. So because I am as well as an entrepreneur, so it helps me keep going. So and my next guest this week to feature is Arizona Jones. He's the owner of Bio-Chem Exterminating. How you doing, Arizona?
I'm doing great, Michael. Thank you.
Good. Gotta have, like I said, you have the coolest name ever, Arizona Jones. And that's your real name, right?
Yep, Arizona Casey Jones. Actually, whenever I was growing up, I went by Casey because kids are cruel. Everybody made fun of that name, and
oh, really?
I started going by Arizona when I got in my career because it sticks.
Yeah, and you're in Arizona.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Well, first off, I always like to start off the interview with just allowing you to introduce yourself, tell everybody a little bit about your business, how you got into it, and then we'll just kind of go from there.
For sure. All right. Well, my name is Arizona Jones. I'm with Bio-Chem Exterminating. I got into the bug industry, pest control industry, kind of like by accident. I used to work for a place called at one point it was called Belden, and then it was Communication Services. We manufactured copper cable, and then obviously, 20 years ago when everything started going to fiber optics and wireless, there was no need for that anymore. So I went from a CWA union worker to finding something to do. And a buddy of mine had introduced me to another friend that was looking for technicians at Orkin Commercial Division. I never would see myself doing pest control. I didn't know nothing about it. I remember my first days having to do roach-infested apartments or restaurants and just totally freaking out because I'm like, I ain't touching none of this. I don't know what the heck is going on.
That's how I would be.
The only thing I knew about pest control was, what we watched on John Candy one time. But so yeah, I got into it and I fell in love. It's like the Discovery Channel every day. So if you love learning about the biology of like insects or ants or spiders and their habits and what they actually do and how they reproduce and why are they in certain environments and how do you get them, how do you get rid of them, and you learn the science behind it all. It's actually very interesting. I get to meet so many fantastic people, customers, both residential, commercial. Our field is so diverse, and it's just not insects. We deal with rodent control, we deal with live animal trapping, we deal with pigeon abatement, we deal with bees. Anything that you can think of that would be considered a pest or endangered, we deal with, and it's pretty awesome. So I fell into that about 20 years ago, and I've been doing it ever since.
Wow. Now, how long have you actually been running your own business?
So I worked with Orkin Commercial for about 2 years, and during that time, I went and got my qualifying party license. You have to have 3 licenses in order to start your pest control company. You have to have a qualifying business license, which you have to be in the industry for 2 years. And then you got to get your state applicator's license, and then you get your business license. So I was with Orkin for 2 years and then went on my own for 8. I started Quality Pest Management. And when the economy crashed in 2008, 2007, I sold my business to Sexton because I had lost about a third of it.
Oh, wow.
And so I sold my business to Sexton, pest control. Ended up going, they brought me in a salary position, teaching the commercial division and doing sales. And then after you own your own business, you just can't go back to that. So I ended up partnering up with a friend that I went to entomology school that Orkin sends you to, Chris Jones, and we have Bio-Chem Exterminating now.
Very cool.
Yeah, so I've been doing my own thing for about 18 years now. So I do pest control. I started a nonprofit organization about 1.5 years ago, and I also do some network marketing businesses. So never rely on one source of income.
Oh, that's good, right? Diversify for sure.
Yep.
That's cool. Yeah, have your fishing role and pull in a lot of different.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I bet you that's a lesson that was learned in 2007, 2008, huh? Like,
Yes.
yeah, when that crashes, it like take away now, and people are learning that even more so with this pandemic. You know, the like that business can just kind of crazily go away or really be affected. So, which kind of I guess leads me into my next question. I mean, you know, that's something I'm always curious how businesses have handled that. I've only seen a few flourish, and there's some businesses that do. But you know, I was curious, how has that kind of impacted your business? How have you handled that?
We, to be honest, it's impacted it very minimal.
Good.
There's still a need for our industry. Um, what's impacted the most is whenever maybe some of the bars or restaurants that we service. Unfortunately, I've seen them couple close and not be able to reopen. I've seen them slow down, and then everything in between. So that's where it impacted us the most. But realistically, it hasn't been that bad for us. But I've talked to a lot of business owners, a lot of restaurants, and I've seen them change some of the menus. You got these buffets out there, or you got these smaller restaurants that you can only have half occupancy, where you can only fit 10 people in there anyway. So you go down to 5 people. Now you got to ask yourself, is it even worth having the door open to employ somebody, because you have to pay this individual. This individual is not going to make much off of tips when you only got 1 or 2 people in there an hour. So I've seen them change their menu. I've seen them take out only and be successful with that. They've saved money on electricity, gas, and employment, which unfortunately then affects the employee. So I see it trickle down, and it's unfortunate. For me, we just try to be diverse. We do a lot of online marketing now, which has been huge. You can't go door to door now. A lot of places you got to make an appointment to get in there.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of online marketing. A lot of you'll find yourself doing a lot of research. It's like you're doing, Michael, like helping other people figure out ways to maneuver around this pandemic, and getting insight from other companies that you may be in your line of work, and see what they're doing. Give you some great ideas.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think online marketing, because that's what I do. That's my business, is online marketing, and I think even more. I was impacted a little bit because I had like one gym. It was a client. It was a gym, and a few things like that. So I definitely saw them impacted. But I think even more important now than ever is to really have your online presence on par. What are some of the kind of marketing that you found that's really been the best, or been really helping your business during these hard times?
Well, it's creating content on your major social sites, on Facebook, Instagram. TikTok is now being one that they're doing TikTok for business now, that I haven't played with, but hey, I take I do a lot of reading. I listen to a lot of mentors. One that I really love is Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V.
Yeah.
And one thing he says is, if you're not on any of those platforms, you're going to go out a bit. You might not like it, but that's what the world is now. So you got to get on those platforms, and you got to be on Google and Yelp, Facebook, and Instagram. But you not only got to be on there, but you got to create content. If you're not creating content and creating a following or a crowd, you're basically not doing anything. And just creating it is nothing. You have to take action. You got to be active in that.
I also like how he says too, like, and it's not even just about, well, you can create, but eventually you kind of have a hard time getting creative, and that takes away from other time that you're trying to build your business as well. He goes, so instead of creating, document your journey,
Yeah.
And that's a real good way to create good quality content. And then I'm a big fan of his Jab Jab Hook book, where it says, give, 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 and then you ask. You can't just constantly be on there. Come, I got a deal for you. Come, buy my services. You got to give them something that you're showing that you really care, and then in turn it comes back when you ask for the help or ask for their business.
Interesting. I'll jump on when I'm out doing a bee call, or when I'm doing a pigeon installation for, like, everybody sees the little spinny silver things on roofs for pigeons. So when I'm installing stuff like that, I'll go live with it, and so people can see what they're for, what we're doing, and then they got ideas like, hey, I didn't know this guy did pigeon control. Or you're following certain things that we're doing, and you sit in a room or you go to a friend's house and they're having issues, and you remember, oh, I saw Arizona jumping on the roof or killing some roaches in a restaurant or wiping out a beehive. But creating that content is another, like you said, is marketing without saying buy, sell. You know, you're just saying this is what I do.
Yeah.
Journey with me on this adventure for a little bit. You know.
Yep, exactly. And they just see you. Exactly. That's how it works so much. And I always say this at the end of every video that I do is just like, you don't have to go and if you don't need, your service per se, but if you can just go and like their business and their page and then share it, I mean, it really helps so much because like you said, it's not, you don't need it. Somebody else might need it. They see you liked it. They saw a video that you did that was interesting. Like, hey, I have pigeon problems. I didn't even think about. I saw how he did it. It seemed pretty simple, or it seemed like something that I can have done in my house, or it's humane. Some people hear about that as well.
Absolutely, I hear it all the time.
Yeah. So
and one thing that we've done, like you had mentioned yourself, and I do like that you invite everybody to like and share each individual's page on here, which is huge. Is other things that have helped us in the past is we'll do a giveaway, and it doesn't have to be something that break the bank. You can go get a $25 gift card. We've given away Country Thunder tickets when you were able to go to concerts.
Right.
and you like and share the page, and you tag a couple of your friends that you would like to go to the concert. We'll give lunch away, $50 lunch. But that marketing goes so far because those people that they tagged that they would like to go to lunch with, now everybody that's on their friends. So it's not who you know, it's who you know, who they know, who they know, who they know, who they know. And then that's how it spreads. And before you know it, you have 1,000 followers, 2,000 followers on your page. And then when you run these promotions again, then you get more activity, and then it continues to grow. But you got like we were talking about earlier, you have to create that content. You have to create that, participation is a big thing too, and make it fun.
Right. Yep. No, I've seen one of your videos when you're at an apartment complex and just kind of showing the whole lay of it all and stuff like that. Issues. It's cool. It's just just a little window into seeing something, and you're part of that. And you're bringing people into that experience. So, which is that's why I like these too, because people see a business and they just think, oh, it's a name and it's some corporate business or whatever. But then when you do an interview like this, or you see live little excerpts. This is Arizona Jones. He's just a regular guy like me and you, and he's following his dreams. So it's really impactful, man. And I wish more people would do it and realize. I don't know if some people believe that if I hit a like on the button, it's gonna spam me or something. I don't know why people don't do it more. Yeah. But it's something that I'm trying to get people knowing more about.
It doesn't take any effort. It's half a second, and the world you would do for somebody. It's beyond me also.
Yeah, it's free, right?
Yeah, right.
Very cool, man. Well, let me ask you this: like, what are any struggles? Because I always like to ask this when for other business owners that are within our group. Have you had any kind of hurdles that you've gone through that you are struggling at this time that maybe somebody that's in the group can help, or you've gone through some kind of struggle, but then you were able to find something that really helped overcome that would help another business that's going through something similar?
One thing I always I would always recommend everybody, anytime I hear everybody wanting to start a business, 100% go do it. You're going to bust your butt anyways, and you're doing it for someone else. Why not do it for yourself? Is it going to be a struggle? Of course it is. Is it going to be rough? Of course it is. Are you going to hit the floor sometimes? Of course you are. But you just keep getting up and keep going, and before you know it. So one thing I always, create a pipeline. So when I'm doing sales, whether I'm old school door knocking or I'm doing social media now, which is huge, keep doing it. Keep creating that pipeline, and it pays off. But just know, if you never do anything, there's never going to be any results. So I always say you reap what you sow. So the more effort you put into marketing and the more you put into sales, it'll pay off eventually. Don't give up on yourself. Change your strategy maybe. If you're doing the door knocking, it's not working, jump on your home. People go home all the time and can jump on a computer and and create content all day long. And like you had mentioned earlier, it doesn't need to be something creative. It could just be a documentary of what you're doing. Like, hey, I went out today and I passed flyers out, man. It's hot. It's 114 degrees. It felt like my shoes were melting to the floor, but I did it. If anybody's out, and you just and do that stuff. So I've struggled with getting new customers. You struggle and you think, man, is this ever going to turn around for me? And then the next month you get 10 new ones and you're like, wow, where did this come from? I was praying, maybe it answered me. But some will come around that same day. Some will come around in 3 months. Some take a year to call you. But if you don't go out there and put yourself out there and start letting people know who you are, how are they ever going to call you? How are they going to 3 months down the road say, oh yeah, whatever, I remember this guy come and left a card over here, or I leave fly swatters around with my names on them all over the place. But they'll remember you, and they're going to remember you, and then they're going to give you a call. But if you don't do anything at all, you can't expect anything to happen. You gotta keep pushing for sales and marketing. Get on the platforms of social media, and that's the way the industry is going right now. I've done the old school door flyers and not good ROI, which is return on investment. Just so if anybody out there doesn't know what that means. And I've done the papers. And if you're not spending thousands of dollars, which a lot of small businesses don't have right now, you're not going to get noticed in them. You need to buy like a back page, half a page, and it needs to be consistent. You can't run it one time and expect people to keep it. It's, people retain information after they see it over and over and over again. They always say the average sales takes about 6 visits before you ever lock a sale in. So don't think that you can do it the first time. If you do, well, that was just a lucky one. Good for you.
You'll get those, right? Yeah. I always kind of do the analogy when, when the way kind of how you're talking about it is, I always use the analogy like working out. Like every day you go to the gym, I want to lose weight, I want to get toned arms and chest. You go there, work out, you bust your butt, but you come home like, I still look the same. Yeah, there's nothing different, but the consistent every week, every day, working on it. And then in a month, you're going to see a little bit of result. And then in 6 months, you see a lot more results. And then in a year, you really change your life, but it takes that consistency. You can't just 1 week do it and then another week don't do it. It doesn't happen like that. It can happen, but it's very chances of it aren't. At least you're trying and you're doing it of some sort. But like you said, if you don't even take one step, you're going nowhere.
One of the funny things that when I first started in the industry and I didn't know anything about, when I first started my business, I didn't know anything about sales or anything. I remember I used to park my truck on a corner and I would walk at first I was being like, okay, I'm going to go to this restaurant or this medical, and I'm prejudging, never prejudge. I was prejudging who I thought needed pest control. To where some
Mexican restaurants.
Yeah. And so I was like, you know what? I need to be more aggressive. Why am I prejudging? Who knows? And the funny thing is, you'll be like, oh, this is a big national company. They're not going to use a small mom pop guy like me. I'd walk in there to sell them and maybe they didn't use me, but you know what? The lady at the counter would say, I've been having ant problems. How much do you charge to come to my house? So you never know. Don't prejudge. Walk into every place, put a smile on the face, and you never know who needs your service. Don't prejudge anybody.
Yeah, I've done sales pretty much all my life, man. And it was one thing, like some businesses, you have to believe in that business to really believe that you're giving the value to that. Because if you don't, you can't sell it, for sure. But that's really, really powerful too. I agree with you 100% on that. So you kind of given some good advice there as well. Do you have any, or let me ask you this, what is some of your ultimate goals you got going on, or what kind of the future, growth plans or?
So my goal obviously is I set smaller goals and I set larger goals. So I have, monthly goals that I meet, quarterly, annually, yearly in my 5-year plan. And then in order, I start with a 5-year and I shrink it down until, what's it going to take me to be here? And then every year, what do I need to make that 5-year? And then every month, what do I need to make that year? And then every week, what do I need to make that month? And then every day, what do I need to make that week? So you start big and you work your way down to you make it manageable. Don't overwhelm yourself, but you do have to make plans and you got to set goals in order to achieve those plans. So one thing that we want to do, I want to be the largest in Arizona. I want to one of my goals was to open Tucson, and a year and a half ago, I opened a route down in Tucson. Got a technician out there. My next goal is to open up what I call the Tri-City area, Prescott Valley, Chino, up in that area. So my goal was to do that this year. It had been slowed down a little bit. I'm going to still work at it. I don't give up, even if I don't get it, at least I've got closer. And I might have to put that on my goal for next year. But one of my goals is to grow that. I love helping my technicians. I get with them every Tuesday and we have meetings. What can I do to make your life better? Obviously money is a number one motivator for everybody, but you also got to love what you do with who you do it with. So I always say, what can I do to make it a better environment here? And, this is and I share to them what it's going to take to get them more money. So I say, you want to make this much more, this is what we need to do to get you there.
Right.
It's a team effort. I'm not going to do it for you. You got to help me, and we can do it together. And we'll get to that point. So one of my goals is, just to continue to grow. I'd like to be one of the largest companies in Arizona, and then go from there. When I reach that, then I'll set some new goals.
Yeah, that's so important too, man. Is those like you said, reverse engineering. I think that sometimes people, I want to make $1 million, and then it's just like, you don't have that little small increment to even get to that point. So like you said, you really have to reverse engineer that and bring it back to what you have to do on a daily. And I think that's so important. I don't think a lot of people, or by the time they get it, they've wasted a lot of time. So I think if they can have that in the forefront going into a business or an idea like that, it'll help them so much.
Get some mentorship. There's a lot of resources out there for small businesses. A lot of it's free. A lot of guys that have made it. One thing, and most of these entrepreneurs are good guys. They what they call bootleg business. They started from the ground up. They want to turn around and help somebody. Each one help one. Turn around and help somebody. So there's a lot of guys out there that would be willing to mentor. And it helps make those ups and downs a little not so terrible, and instead of achieving some of your goals in 3 years, you're able to do it in 1 year because now someone's taught you how to overcome these certain obstacles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I think support is so important. Like, it looks like that's what you're providing for your team within, is providing them support, that, resources, not just about how you're going to make more money, but how are we going to do it, mentally and physically, and kind of put a plan in place. But then, looking outside for yourself is for a mentor. I think that's having the support. And that's why I like this. That's why I created this Facebook group in places, to have a place to have support, that like-minded individuals are going through the same thing. So why not help each other out, in any way possible. So very well. Let me ask you, man, I always like asking this question because it's, again, for business owners, any applications or resources that you use that kind of help, either manage your business, make it easier, whether it's, payroll, or it's just, anything you think might help.
When I first started out, QuickBooks was a huge help for me. It's very user friendly, and they have when you're a beginner, they have beginner programs that you can use. So QuickBooks was one thing I've always used when I first started. I know companies that are still using QuickBooks.
Right.
They're invoicing, they're billing, payroll, all that stuff. That's a good one. Once you get to a certain size where you have to bring in somebody to do like HR or payroll, or somebody to do that stuff for you, just shop around. I mean, there's 100 of them out there.
Yeah.
Just make sure you're not getting in any contracts, getting ripped off by anybody. But I also read a lot. I read a lot, and then I go to a lot of online resources. But books is the number one. You can find anything you want in there, and not only that, but it broadens your vocabulary, enlightens your mind, and you pick up so many things. I'll read the same book sometimes 5-6 times.
Yeah, I'm the same way. There's a book right now that I almost can't finish it because I feel like I learned so much just in the past, like couple chapters, that I want to go back to those couple chapters to make sure that I, don't forget what I learned in those ones, because I'm taking forever to read this book, but I just love it. But that kind of goes into my next question, man, is because, Gary Vaynerchuk is really big, and you hear about a lot of entrepreneurs that they read on a daily and just kind of gain knowledge. And I'm like you, I can read a book 3 different times and take away something differently from it. So, do you have any suggestions that any books that you've read in the past that you really recommend, or that you're reading now that you like?
Yeah, so one that everybody will always recommend. So if you're an entrepreneur, business owner, you should always get the Napoleon Hill. But
Yeah.
can't think of the name of it right now. It's called
Oh, Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich. So that one, and I got the new edition. So that one's a that book I've read about 5 times. Very impactful. And then I read this every day. So I got myself a daily devotional. And so if you're religious, you're not religious, these daily reads, and they'll have ones. This one's for men. They'll have one for women, and they're quick. They're quick 15-minute, not even 10-minute reads in the morning, and it's just insight, like how to be a good person. Just reminding you that, hey, there's waking up today is a blessing, and you should recognize what you have and not what you don't have. Appreciate what you have and what you've accomplished, and appreciate that you have every day to start over and accomplish those new goals that maybe you had a bad day yesterday. But those daily devotional reads reminds me of things. I take something away from it every day. And sometimes when you're down or you're struggling, that next read seems like it's targeted for what you're feeling that time. So I always recommend, like I said, if you're not religious, if you are, those daily devotionals, the one I have follows a guideline more on a religious level, but also being a good person. And they have challenge questions, and they have phrases for the day. They have different things. So I always pick that up. That's my first read in the morning. I don't know if you've ever seen Denzel Washington did a graduation speech.
Mm-hmm.
You seen that one?
Yeah. Powerful, man.
Oh, very powerful. When I work out, sometimes I don't listen to music. I listen to motivational videos because you'll take some, and I've heard that same one 100 times. And one thing I always love that he says is, when you go to bed at night, put your slippers far underneath your bed. So in the morning, when you wake up, you have to hit your knees to reach underneath and grab them. And while you're down there, say a prayer, thanking him for getting you up that morning. And that's what I would do. I do that in the morning, and I read my devotional read, and then and it starts my day.
Yeah, it's a good morning routine for sure. Kind of gets you in the right mindset. And man, more than ever do we need that, man. There's some goodness. And
one other book that someone got me to read, it says it's a Marshall Goldsmith book. It's called What Got You Here Won't Get You There. So what that is the whole book is based on, you've got success now, but now you've kind of hit a roadblock. What do you do now? Why aren't you moving anymore? And it has a lot of good reads in there about that.
That's cool, man. Yeah, I've been reading this that one book I was telling you I can't finish because I keep going back because I want a motivation manifesto. So good, man, because it's like almost at every end of article, it feels like give you this little sis boom ba, you're at the top of the mountain.
You need that.
For sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Another speech that I liked a lot was Jim Carrey. Unbelievable.
Yes.
Have you seen that one? Yeah, that was powerful too, man. I love that one.
I love those all. Those, you know what you should do, and I might have to do this for my guys at work, but it would be great on here is share those on a link, like highlight some of those.
You're right.
Those are good ones, man.
You're right. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna post those in the group.
People can just go on your site and click on it, like, hey, where can I find it? Well, I know Michael Chavez had mentioned it. Jump on there.
Yep. Because those are super powerful, man. I love them. Steve Jobs is another one. Yeah.
But hearing Jim Carrey and with that speech, and a guy like Denzel Washington, how humble. There's another good book, and it says you can read this book probably in one day, like one night, 2 or 3 hour read. It's Herm Edwards' book.
What's it called?
It's Herm Edwards.
Oh yeah, the coach, right?
Yeah, he has a short read that I read, and I can't think of the name of it right now, but and it's a 2 hour book maybe.
Yeah,
but it is
powerful.
That guy is, man, he is just a great all around.
Yeah,
I totally think different about him when I read that book. I was like, wow.
Yeah, he's like up a notch, man, on adrenaline and just like
It's
his
just
motivations.
what he goes over about being how to be, being a father for those of anybody that's a father and a husband, or a brother. And, it's just
Well,
he
I gotta
touches
check it
a
out.
bunch of stuff, and man, I'm like, wow, this guy. I wish that was my dad.
Yeah, man, that's funny. That's cool, man. I'm gonna check that one out. I haven't
Yeah,
read that one or even heard of it. He had a book out,
yeah.
so that's funny.
It was
That's cool, man.
recommended to me, and I had read it, and I was like, and it was at one of my mentorship programs. Like I went and saw Tony Robbins live. I've seen
Oh, did you
Robert
really?
Kiyosaki,
Oh, wow.
and I've seen a couple others. But
You went into just was it Tony Robbins? Was it like where they had a bunch of speakers, or was it just a Tony Robbins event?
it was him, Gary V, and
Oh, okay, that just happened, right? Like a year ago.
yep,
Oh, okay. I wanted to go to that, man. I just couldn't go.
yeah. It was
Is that
him,
good?
Gary V, and then there was two other guys. I can't remember the other ones.
Yeah.
It
Gary Vee
was
and
good.
Tony Robbins, like, wow, what a lineup! There's those two alone, man, are worth the
It was
admission
awesome.
for sure. That's cool, man. You got a lot out of that one.
Oh yeah, I still have my books from notes and stuff that I take for all that stuff.
Man, that's great. That's cool, man. Well, cool, man. I know you're busy. So I just kind of want to let this, let kind of give you this opportunity to let everybody know how to get a hold of you and, website and any promotions you have going on to, that if you do, and
Yeah.
just kind of let us know how we can get a hold of you, man.
So, well, I appreciate it again, Michael, for having me on here. So, BioChem Exterminating, we handle anything from your general pest control. We hold no contracts. So, if you ever just want to get a free quote on anything, or need questions about something you might have seen at your house, if you're doing pest control yourself, just know that although you're not using our service, use us as a resource if you need any information. Like, hey, you know what? I really can't afford pest control. I don't mind doing it myself. What can I use, or what works best? We'll be more than happy to share that information with you. You can call us at 602-275-4888 is our office number. You can reach me personally at 602-885-3518. You can also look me up on Facebook. You can private message us. We have our website, biochemexterminating.com. I'll use any of those means of communication to get a hold of me or my team. Like I said, we don't have to be doing a service for you. If you have questions on anything, we'd love to help you. We do it all: animal trapping, rodent, pigeon, termite pre-treats. Just one funny fact that we've done the termite pre-treats for the Cardinal Stadium, for the Diamondback Stadium. We used to be the Arizona Coyotes pest control company in there doing their pest control for the last 4 years. So we're very resourceful. We're very knowledgeable about what we do. Very professional. No contracts. So if you need just a one-time service, we can get something taken care of for you. We're not going to have some sales guy over there trying to sign you up for some 3-year deal or nothing like that. And I appreciate Michael for having me on here. And like I said, if anybody needs any information, feel free to get a hold of me in any of those ways.
Cool, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, no, I'm glad you came on. It was, again, inspirational. I know Kent, I spoke with from KA Sweeping, mentioned you that you were a big inspiration to him in the past. So yeah, definitely, I'm walking away inspired myself. So man, I thank you for your time, and I hope everybody gets a chance to take a look at this. And I'll have the whole interview on YouTube. I'll highlight it in our Facebook group and page. And I always like to do this at the end of the video. Should probably start doing this in the beginning. Now that I think about it, but
I was proud to see Kent start his business, and that's one thing, and he comes from a good family. His mom and dad are outstanding individuals. We've kept in touch one way or another. And it seems like once in a while you go through that gap, but when we don't see each other. But yeah, he's a good kid, and he was brought up well. His parents, I love his mom and dad, and I just wish the best for him. And anything I can do to support him, I'm going to start looking at ways to, help him out.
For sure, I could tell he was a hardworking individual, man. So, and he's definitely looking to grow. And so I enjoyed speaking with him, and he got a lot of, he shared his page, and through his community alone of friends, man, really kind of he had over 800 views, 1,700 um, uh, is it impressions, and just, I mean, it had some good views on that, and and he said he had like, just within a week's time, he had like 3 calls that,
Awesome.
yeah, so it helps. It really does, and that was just from, I think, 13 or 15 shares, so.
Yeah, I want to get a hold of them and get some business cards and stuff because, like I said, we do a lot of commercial properties, and there might be a lot of marketing
Yeah,
that we can share, a lot of networking we can do together.
right. That's how to do it. But here, all I did was, I typed in Bio-Chem Exterminating, and so all it takes is a like. Since it's his business page, it makes you follow him now, and then you hit the share button and just put, hey, check out, if you need exterminating services, check out Bio-Chem Exterminating. And it's like, again, it's something that it's free, and it costs $0, and it helps the business so much. So if you guys really are saying you want to help local businesses, which I believe most people do, that's one way to do it. And if you need their service, reach out to Arizona. Definitely, he's been in the business for a while, and again, we're helping his business grow. So again, I appreciate your time, Arizona. I really do.
Thank you.
And everyone else out there, continue supporting your local businesses. And you guys have a great rest of your day.
All right, you do the same, Michael.